Welcome everyone back to a special episode of the Backwater Bastards.
You asked for it.
You gonna get it, by damn golly.
Yeah, right in your B.
Are we calling this the
big one?
When Z met Cleo or
Jailbreak.
meet cute?
Oh, meat cubed. There
Meat
we go.
cubed.
Scientific.
Okay. I like that.
Maybe the name will come to us
Maybe it
organically
will.
through the course of the adventure.
But yes, it's the origin of Dr. Z and Cleo's friendship or companionship,
Into
partnership in crime.
Before the Backwater Bastard ship, they were felons that got thrown in prison for stealing condoms at a 7-Eleven.
I didn't steal condoms.
I
It
paid for
wasn't
them
me.
with my money that I took from
I
someone.
don't even have things to put condoms on.
Sorry, that was the first thing that came to my mind when I thought about criminals.
You could fill them full of like gelatin and use them as like little water balloons.
Well,
Yeah, it's not my style though. I
that
don't
kind of
think.
sounds like, nah.
I hadn't thought like why the two of you would actually be in prison yet though. It could be
We gotta
ooh.
figure that out.
Maybe it'll come to us because I haven't
I
thought
think
of
it
that
would
either.
be funny if Dr. Z was in prison for like something about like drug, like
I've-
performance, like.
well, he could have
like,
been like selling like
selling
veterinary
people.
drugs to people, like as I get it. I love the idea that he's like sort of like the sort of backwater veterinarian he's been operating on sentient life forms anyway, even though he's not really trained with humanoids, and like just giving
Well,
people
I'm
like
going to
fucking,
claim my innocence regardless of
like
why
giving
I'm here.
people like sedatives that like meant for like like some sort of like fucking 20-foot tall like rhino beast or something.
Yes. That's exactly what I picture him being. I picture him being in jail for a good reason, but me, definitely not. Because I could be in jail for multiple reasons. Like, I could be in jail because of something my body did,
Mhm.
but like me, as a person, definitely innocent.
So you're in the bear?
Got to be because Dr. Z knows Cleo as a bear, doesn't he?
Oh right, yeah, of course. We'll do another episode with Cleo origin. So
Yeah.
this is Cleo is a bear at this point.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, we still got to figure out what everybody does know about Cleo.
Yeah. Well, how about you give us let's dive right into it, right?
Yeah, okay. The Dr. Z, long ago, this is some time ago in fact, Dr. Z was not really not a combat ready bubble boy like he is today.
Bubble boy.
He was more of a psychic jellyfish piloting a little kickstool.
Kickstool. You have to describe this kickstool for me,
So we're
Dickie.
talking like one of those like a stool that you sit on, but like your knees end up higher than your ass. Like it's
Oh,
Mhm.
a squatty potty.
yeah, a little platform for a jelly boy to sit on. It can sort of like whiz about, just partially hovering, kind of skitching about across the ground. It's equipped with like little water spritzers to keep him moist enough, because obviously he's technically a water dwelling.
So it's just a
Decent.
bidet on wheels.
So I'm just exposed on a bidet on wheels.
You're lucky that you
Glorious.
weren't just on the floor, because when I pictured this, I pictured you like, those like science toys, like those little slimes that you can buy. If a kid dropped one of those on the floor at a grocery store, how much hair and crap it would pick up.
Yeah.
That's you.
Could you please place me on this stool? Thank you.
It was actually, oh god, what TV show was that? I think The Mask, and there was like Fish Boy or some shit.
Fish boy.
Do you remember? Yeah, it was The Mask. There was Fish Guy, and let me find an image.
I'm gonna need an image.
There was like this they were like a team on The Mask animated series called Putty Thing and Fish Guy, and like
Oh wait, maybe I do know about it.
let me just send I'll send an image in the Discord, you can see. But like basically like Fish Guy was absolutely useless, couldn't do anything, and had to be carried around.
Gross, that's
That's
Dr.
great.
Z.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay.
So am I like some crime boss in this prison then? Getting carried around by people?
I mean, I feel like that would be your ultimate fate, were you not to escape.
That's the thing. I'm fucking setting myself up to be the crime boss of this prison. I'm gonna mind control everyone to do my bidding.
But yes,
That's actually pretty clever, because like that would work.
so not combat ready. He was easily captured by New Terror forces, the human empire, when he was accused of selling illicit substances that were banned in the empire to citizens.
Not
of the
proven.
empire.
Again, not proved.
Well,
Okay.
whether or not it was proven,
Except
he
that it-
was
except that
judged
it was.
guilty by a jury of his peers and sent,
Only they weren't jellyfish people either, so it wasn't my peers.
not really his peers, and sent to one of the like the worst places really in the human systems. There's on the system of First Snare, there's a satellite prison that is just a big old floating space station. It just orbits one of the moons, in fact, the First Snare.
Yeah.
It's well known as being the place where you just lock up the criminals that you don't think can be rehabilitated, the ones you just want to get rid of. And it's got a very bad reputation
nice.
for like the guards don't really set foot past the airlock.
Oh, good.
Dr. Z got sent there for drugs? God!
There may have been some sort of like human superiority at play in the decision to treat him so harshly.
Oh, okay. Feeling it.
I mean, he is just like a little jellyfish.
And he's mean.
But more importantly, it's probably the fact that how do you really keep a mind-controlling monster in a regular jail? You know, he just control all the guards.
It's fair.
So sending him somewhere where there are no guards probably makes the most sense.
Yeah, actually it does.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dan.
Oh, sad.
Having been shipped in basically in a crate surrounded by psychic dampeners. No way of telling how much time's passed or what the outside world is going on. Finally, Dr. Z gets his first psychic glimpse out at the world as the container is pried open, and he gets the briefest glance at the mind of one of these guards who, after prying open the container, steps back and slams shut the airlock doors. And as the crate falls open, Dr. Z is finally aware of his surroundings, and it's a very sort of dusty, dirty, dark metallic corridor that leads back to, it's basically like a vault door behind him where the airlock is. It looks relatively impenetrable, and there appear to be psychic dampeners all around the outside of this prison, and in fact sort of operating through some of the walls as well.
Is he in solitary?
Well, he's actually in a corridor that opens out.
Really?
Oh.
Okay, so they just like chuck you in this place and then be like, whatever.
Sort your shit out.
Alright, so I don't even have any way of
sounds-
talking to people.
I would assume that you're if you've been like going around selling things and stuff, you know, your little footstool transportation device would be equipped with a
Yeah,
with a vocal modulator and so on as well.
you've got to
cool.
have
It's just
some
not
way
combat
of-
ready.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. All right, cool.
Anyway, upon being released into this corridor, Dr. Z has only one choice, and that is to scoot his way down the corridor and see where it leads.
All right. Well, then I'm bloody going to do it.
This is the
I'm
moment
going
where
to,
we go, can I get advantage?
And scooting down to the end of the corridor, he discovers there is it just opens out into a kind of a ring. So this one corridor from the entrance leads to a big circular corridor that curves round either direction. But directly in front is almost like a reception desk.
Mhm.
And sitting behind that desk is a sort of an unkempt, slovenly looking, very, very skinny human fellow who's idly like
Really?
picking at his teeth with a little improvised shiv. And he looks down at Dr. Z as he approaches. Oh, new blood, I see. You'll be wanting to
no
head
blood
that
in me.
way if you want to find one of the empty rooms.
Is he an
Yes,
inmate?
and
He's an inmate, yes. Everyone in here is an inmate.
Why the hell does he get to tell us what to do?
Well, you know.
wait, just talking to me at the moment, isn't it?
I don't care.
He's just decided to set up shop at this reception desk.
Yeah. I have no blood. Where's your cell?
Oh, you won't want to bother going round that part of the satellite, my friend. My tiny, moist-looking friend. You'll find all of those rooms are taken.
Yes.
Dan, why do you want to go to his room?
Because I want to take over his body and just and start walking around as him. I'd be like, I want to try and get him to come down and help me with my
Carry
what's it
my
called?
bag,
My
Jeeves.
my scoot thing.
I mean, it's just as your body, I guess. It's your vehicle.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I don't need to inhabit the very first person I see, but
Yeah. What a
I mean, you could
what a
just jump from host to host every time you find someone better. It's like, right, upgrading.
that's exactly what I want to try and do, but I can't jump on him right now, can I?
No, you're not very
Why
well
not?
positioned for jumping on him.
Yeah.
You've basically got to trick him into, like, bending over.
Wait.
Yeah.
I think I thought this was gonna be easier.
Yeah, me too, but he's all the way up there. I need to get him down here.
Well, can't you just walk over?
Let me try and figure it out, Cleo.
This is a friendship story, so I get to help.
No, it's just the way that I mean, maybe I've got it wrong, Dick, but the way you described it seems like it's he's up above on a pillar or
Well,
something.
he's sitting, like, there's a reception desk, and he's sitting on a big tall stool behind that.
It feels more raised, but it might not necessarily be like a platform.
No, he's kind of
Okay.
raised up, but the main thing is, like, you're quite low down. You're below.
You're like a child.
Yeah, you're only a
or
couple feet
dog,
tall at the moment.
I'll say,
A house.
now, I
plant.
don't know about the rest of you, but I'm there for, well, selling certain wares. And I've got some of those wares here on me. Can't reach you, though. Maybe you'd like to have a look and tell me where I could set up shop?
Sounds like you're a prostitute.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that's Dr. Z's got to get it.
That guy's gonna be like, great.
Well,
Dr. Z's got to get it how he
if
can.
you want to be selling anything in here, you're going to have to run that by the prison king. But I suppose I could help you out as well. Let me just let me see what you've got there. I'm sure I could take some of it off your hands. We wouldn't even have to
Ew,
bother
ew.
the king. That would be nice, wouldn't it, my friend?
What type of split would you be thinking with me?
Well, let's have a look at what you've got there, shall we?
And he's
Well, just lift me up. It's under. I'm sitting on it. You
he
see?
steps out from behind
Wow,
the
you're
desk.
sitting on it.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's
I sorry to be a bother, but the way I'm sitting, it's the only place I could keep it secret. You see, and being that I have no strong appendages like you, if you just could lift me up and, it's right underneath me.
You don't need to say a word. I've claimed these sorts of things from much worse locations.
he,
I'm sure you
he's
have.
got his little his shiv in one hand, still like sort of
No,
idly
not with that.
holding it, but yeah, there's some sort of intimation of threat as he reaches down with one hand and sort of roughly, without it doesn't seem to have any sort of apparent disgust or concern to be touching a slimy thing. He just picks up Dr. Z, or reaches down to pick him up with one hand.
Kind of like how when you're trying to figure out how many crisps are left in the bottom of the bag.
Yeah. And I'll just slither along and try and am I touching his bare skin? That's all I need, right?
Yeah,
to
yeah.
do the
So, like he's
telepathy
literally
mind
just
hack.
grabbing you with his hand because he doesn't really know
Alright.
what the hell you are. He thinks you're like an easy mark.
So that was do I roll it twice?
If you're doing your mind hack, as you roll a telepathy and a hacking
Yeah.
roll.
Telepathy and a hacking.
Yeah, boy.
Wasn't there a thing where I rolled it? Oh, I can't remember. All right. Anyway, so the telepathy is a 7 and the hacking is a 14.
But he's a human, so like, how much can that really help?
Well, no, because it was a mind hack.
Oh,
Thing.
okay.
Cleo out here getting mad confused at everything.
Yeah, Dr. Z can like reach out psychically and like potentially like mind control people just from a distance with his telepathy, but he's got a biological function as well, where with his tendrils he can literally
This is like
biologically
meat
hack.
science.
The same way he hacks into
Yeah.
machines, he can hack into biological life forms,
Meat
Yeah,
science
so-
instead of machine science.
which is exactly what
Exactly.
he's just done. As like an internal sort of screaming in the mind of this fellow who, incidentally,
Can I interject a fact?
sure.
Go on.
When we made it to 1,000 people on Twitter,
Hmm.
I wrote down the name of the person who did it.
Oh, there we go. That could be the name.
Yeah.
What was their name?
So their name was Chris B, and I have been mentally calling this person Crispy
I mean, Crispy's quite a good name for an inmate.
for like a while. And just to humanize him to you, not only is he the hero that made us thousandaires,
Hmm.
but he videoed the moment that he did it.
Wow.
Oh,
So-
nice.
Okay, I
So
think
we
yeah.
have that.
I think
have
we
that
could have a
keepsake
Crispy in here,
forever.
but do we want to like Yeah, like the
I don't know, I'm
the
just giving
sleazy
you this-
disposable body right at the beginning to be named after him.
Yeah, maybe not.
Probably
maybe
not out of respect, but I'm giving you this tool to put into your case.
Oh,
And here are
that's nice.
3 facts about him, just because I asked for these. He is English/Irish.
Mhm.
He has lived in Canada for 2 years. He went back to college at 28, finished his degree in mechanical engineering, and
Amazing.
he plays a weekly game that has only missed 2 weeks in over the last 2.5 years. So he's
shit.
also better than all of us
That's damn impressive.
That's quite
In
That's
multiple-
very impressive.
in multiple ways.
Yeah, that's very impressive.
And
Crispy.
his name is Chris, and his Twitter handle is ChrisB36. So now I'm so sorry about all of the hate mail you're about to get.
There's so much hate mail.
Probably, but I've been calling him Crispy in my heart for like 2 weeks, or however the fuck long it's been. I have no concept of time anymore. Anyway, that's it. That's my aside.
Cool.
Do with that what you will.
Okay. Well, hacking into the immediate short-term memory and general biological function of this self-professed perception, Dr. Z discovers that he is called Skivs.
Gives.
And he is a very, very low level of a gang, or basically the main gang in this prison, who are run by a person called the Prison King, that Skivs is very afraid of.
Well, Skivs, let's go see this prison king. Pick up my stool.
The Skivs, I mean, yeah, you can maybe just say what you do as him. in
Yeah,
fact.
all right. Well, then I still want to try and intimidate him by talking to him.
That's fair, yeah. So he's internally screaming, but he can't do anything other than what you allow him to do. So it's, I guess, still clutching you in one hand. He's got to pocket his shiv and pick up the stool.
Now, Skivs, would there be anyone else here that is as scared of the prison king as you?
Let go of me! Let go of me! You thing!
I'm not letting go, Skivs. I'm selling you. You are my item.
But yeah, unbidden, like into his mind, you can sort of see that just about everybody is scared of the Prison King. Seems like the Prison King made his start here by being the person that you would go to get any sort of improvised weaponry, and he's ended up having like a sort of real empire of well-armed enforcers.
All right. Well, I'm going to keep my mind and eye open and just sit on Skiv as he takes me through the prison.
You have the knowledge now that Skivs has of the layout. So where did you want to go?
Well, maybe you could describe it to me, what the prison layout is kind of like.
So the prison, it's big, but it's not that big. It's like a small town, I suppose. And there are multiple curving corridors. There's the one you're in now, but then there's a more central one as well. And this outer corridor, it sort of it goes around. One direction, there's just a lot of people who are just, like short-term prisoners, just trying to wait it out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the direction where Skivs tried to send you, with there's supposedly still some empty rooms, although you now know that there's barely any actually empty rooms. You'd certainly be bunky with someone. But further around towards the back, it seems to be that's where the enclave of the Prison King is. And it's been modified. A lot of walls have been knocked down, cells have been made bigger. The king himself has some sort of almost like a court where he's smashed open like a section of corridor and like 8 cells into like a big area where he holds court with his gangsters, his followers. And then in the central corridor, that's where a lot of the other well-connected people in the prison, the people who have like really good transferable skills, people that are of use, are all sort of holed up in sort of safer, more luxurious cells. And then right in the middle, there's a big communal area which has the remnants of like a gymnasium, and it's got like a big kitchen that is run by another of the gangs.
All right. I'll say I don't mean to insult you, Skiv, but I'm looking for an upgrade. Let's go to the middle cells with these prisoners of note.
Prisoners of note. Skiv's like kind of unshaking, and like, because obviously he's being directly controlled, but like There's a twitch in his eye and like a terror in his brain as his body unwittingly carries you around
that's
and
promising.
down another corridor that reaches down further into the center area. You don't pass a lot of inmates in this part of the prison, but once you start heading inwards towards the central thing, there are sort of more people sort of lounging about, and eventually there's an inmate who's just sort of a very spiny thing, kind of purple and covered in spines.
Oh, what you got there, Scamus? Who's this little fella?
Oh, it's actually my new pet. Would you like to, I don't know, pet him?
Oh no!
Well, he ain't got anything catching, does he?
No, you look at me. I look fine, don't I?
Well, you certainly don't look any more scabrous than usual.
And what about you? You caught anything lately?
The spiny people think, oh,
Just the lice. I can't get rid of the damn things.
he's scratching at these sort of porcupine spines. You can see they're too thick and knitted together to really get inside.
Do I need to be touching this other character to hack them? Can I hack both of these people at the same time, or do I need to be on one of
So
them?
you can only hack the one thing that you sort of like latched onto with your tendrils, but you could try and mind control him as well.
Yeah, I'm going to try and go for a mind control. Start building up a little gang. We getting out of this prison today. What would you like me to roll for that?
Telepathy.
12.
All right. And what are you commanding? What are you attempting to do?
I guess, yeah, just trying to what's this new creature's name?
Well,
Or what do we call it? Just spines?
it's a spiny thing.
Okay. I guess just getting spines to follow. And yeah, come along. Just trying to build up some numbers.
Well, Spine's not really knowing why, but like, just a thought popping into its head. Just sort of starts following along and like,
Alright then.
Spines, you got any shivs on you? You got a blade?
Of course.
Spines pulls out a real sort of janky looking, jagged, like a long dagger that looks like it's sort of been made from like a split and sharpened cog of some description. It's very jagged and raspy and threatening looking, but not necessarily a particularly useful weapon.
All right, Spines, put it away. Keep it safe. And I guess continue on our way with the merry band of prisoners that we are to try and find the higher grade.
And as Dr. Z is making his way towards the the central housing estate, I might say, of the prison.
Oh, that sounds so nice.
Cleo herself, who this is her second day in the clink.
Excellent.
She was identified early by one of Prison King's representatives as a potential useful entity, and was actually invited, at least on a temporary basis, to live in one of these luxurious dwellings in the central section.
Okay. Finally, life is looking up. In a way.
Cleo, a great big Ursine bear thing, but without any munitions, any sort of explosive kits, weaponry, armor, none of that. But still a big, scary bear. But on this day, she was told that she'd be given an audition for the king. And this very morning, around the same time as Dr. Z is talking to Skirvis, Cleo hears a little rat-tat-tat on the door to her cell. The cell being I say luxurious, but really what I mean is that it's just, she's not bunking with anyone. It is just a dirty, dark, metallic finish with a very basic cot that's not quite big enough for an Ursine to sleep on, and a sort of basic bathroom facilities. The water is only cold and doesn't run very well. It just kind of drizzles out weakly.
You're definitely selling it.
Yeah. But yes, a rat-tat-tat comes on the door.
What? Who's out there?
There's a louder rat-tat-tat. Like,
Hey you, bear! It's time for your audition.
Audition for what? This ain't no song and dance number.
The king wants to know if you'll be of any use in the gang business. Now, we're lodging you up here. We could just as easily send you back with all the rest of the scum, so you better come out quick.
What? You'll do what? I will put you in a trunk and help people look for you, so stop rapping on my door!
Finally, after some more loud rapping on the door slams open. And,
All right.
Cleo's confronted by, there's a sort of a short, round-faced, red-headed woman, just sort of dressed in very plain overalls, carrying some sort of big duffel bag over one arm. But to either side, there are these two very immense-looking enforcers. One is a sort of a big, broad-shouldered yellow brute, sort of scaly and lizard-like, and the other just seems to be like just a big humanoid, just a sort of a bald human-looking thing, but 8 foot tall. And they are both armed with actual functioning energy blades. They don't look good. They look very much improvised. They look like they've been crafted out of sort of out of just bits of machinery. Like they kind of look like fluorescent light bulbs almost, with crackling, sizzling energy around them.
Okay, that's fair.
They're kind of like big shitty junk swords. Big
shitty junk swords.
Is that the name of the episode? Big shitty junk swords.
Junk swords. Yeah, there we go.
Fuck. That is like exactly it. Anyway.
Now listen, Bear. These two will have you out in your ass in a second. If you don't come and put on a show for me to see if you're worth keeping.
Cleo's gonna like extend her. She's sitting on like her half bed, and she's gonna like extend her leg out a little bit, like point her toe and be like, "Well, didn't say you was bringing by a gentleman."
The two enforcers like side-eyeing one another, like looking a little bit concerned.
It's been a while since I've been out on the town with lookers.
Look, all you've got to do is show me what you can make of this.
And she shakes the duffel bag, and you can hear clanking and clinking of various parts inside.
Okay, all right. Well, why didn't you lead with that? Throw it on down here and send Drogon.
She sort of like sighs, like, dramatically, and throws the bag down on the floor in front of Cleo's cot, and then leaning in the door frame as the two enforcers step in, sort of just their hands clutching their junk swords. And the duffel bag sort of plops onto the filthy floor.
Excellent. As we all know, I do love a good bag of crap.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things. And do I need to roll a perception of any type, or can we just be assumptive, really, that it's a bag of like scraps and items? Like,
yeah, it's a bag of scraps and items. You immediately, upon opening up the bag, you can sort of your mind is your imagination is caught up with like many a thing you could do. Most of the things being making bombs.
Yeah, I mean that's like my jam.
And like it seems pretty evident that you have all that you need there to improvise some form of explosive.
I'm gonna do a roll then to see how well I can fashion an item from this. So I rolled a d20 and got a 2.
The good news is you get +5 to your explosive rolls. Bad news is
excellent.
That still only makes a 7.
Yes. Alright. So I'm gonna start trying to build something. And I'm gonna complain a little bit about subpar materials. And I'm gonna have the enforcer that I indicated earlier come closer to the pile, and I'm going to actually just co-opt him for his energy sword so that he can solder the thing together.
That's pretty good call. The woman in the overalls is watching quite intently. You can see like she's like studying the things you're doing and sort of nodding, looking like she's taking mental notes. It seems like she takes this audition quite seriously. And she's like, every now and then she nods as though she's impressed with your choices. Because although this is a failed explosive, I think to a non-explosives expert, you still look very, very proficient.
Excellent.
So what are you going to say to the guy to try and get the solder?
Well, come on closer, boy. You don't have to hand it to me, but you're going to need to work with me here. And I'm just going to kind of grab his, like, arm, and he can still hold the sword, but I'm going to, like, drive his arm to solder the thing. And so while we're kind of like, if you were, like, teaching somebody how to use, like, a tool, and you let them hold it, but, like, you're moving them. Exactly.
Yeah, this is Ghost.
And it kind of seems like maybe a little romantic, but he thought I was trying to romance him by the way I was behaving, but the truth is that I don't give a shit. And I'm just going to look him in the eye while we're soldering, and I'm going to be like, "Bet you think this song was about you. Well, it weren't. You got a nice tool there, boy. Don't get a big head on your shoulders." And then while while the thing is soldering, like, I'm just gonna laugh at him, and then when I'm done, I'm just gonna push him aside.
Oh, hush.
At the beginning of this,
Yes,
he's sort of like
mistress.
looking to the woman overalls for, like, and she just sort of like did a big shrug, like, I mean, fuck knows, let the bear solder the bomb if the bear wants to solder the bomb, and almost sort of like steps back as you release him, almost like he's been dumped out of your lap, he sort of stumbles back.
Yeah, exactly. Know your role. Don't get a big head on your shoulders. Learn yourself. I'm gonna hand the thing over to the lady that I've created, this subpar little explosive. I like to imagine it as sometimes when you go to a sushi restaurant on your birthday, they bring out this thing, and it's like, it's made out of plastic, but when they light the candle in it, it like comes apart, like it blooms. Have you ever seen this candle?
I have not.
It's freaking cool, and sometimes you can buy them at like grocery stores, but it looks like it could almost be made of like plastic spoons, and when you light it, it literally like opens up like flat, like if it was a flower.
I mean, I've just googled blooming sushi candle, but that's not brought anything up.
Well, that'll
Well,
get you something else. That'll get you
yeah.
something else.
Yeah, that's a sex move.
Listeners can't see that, so
That's definitely a sex move and a dangerous one. So if you're gonna try that one, make sure you have a spotter. Anyway, and a fire extinguisher and a pliers. But I'm gonna hand it to her. It's kind of one of those, and it looks like that's what all the soldering was for. So like it might like open a little bit when it does eventually go off. And because it's not really like that great, it's probably not gonna work. So anyway, I hand it to her, and I'm just gonna be like, "I could tell that you gave me your bee bag. Now, none of this was quality. And I think you know that, and I think your boss knows that, and I think your boys here know that too, and I'm a little offended that you thought you could pull one over on me with this bee bag, but I did my best, and it's a lot better than any of y'all could have done with this bag, but now here you go. Have a nice day. Next time, why don't you bring me something funner to play with? Got some Legos? Love those."
She's like turning the thing over in her hands and then sort of tucks it into the duffel bag with the remaining scraps. Cass is like,
We'll be returning with more raw materials. If your output can stay as good as this, wow, maybe you can be upgraded to quarters at the rear of the prison.
"Oh, well, don't fan my fire. Go back in my den."
she nods, and it walks out, and one of the enforcers just sort of walks straight out, but the enforcer that you manhandled sort of like leers and looms over you with his weapon held a bit more sort of forceful and says,
Don't go getting ideas above your station, fresh mate.
I'm just gonna fart.
his eyes kind of widen and he quickly scurries out the door.
Yeah.
At this point,
You have to do power moves in prison. That is true. That's the truth. So, I looked at him, and I like narrowed my eyes, and I like did the thing where I lifted my leg like daintily and pointed my toe, and that's how I did it. So it was kind of like another duality moment where he can remember how seductive I was, but also how poisonous I am.
Perfect.
Toxicity goes both ways.
The toxicity of our city.
but yes, around this moment, Skevs and Spines, obviously being ridden by Dr. Z, walks straight by, almost crashing into the women and the enforcers as they barge out the door.
Oh, I'll seeing the large enforcers that they've got there, I'll get Skiev and Spines to try and get closer to the last one that came out of the room.
All right. So we're just gonna get like Skevs to try and put you onto him.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see how Skevs does at that.
Like first send Spines in to be like to distract, and then when distracted, Skevs is gonna place me or reach out and like a zombie style arm for me to run along or slime along, and then kind of connect.
The Skevs, Spines rather, sort of runs up and is like,
Wait a second.
and like the enforcer turns with them.
What now?
And at that point, he's turned to face the spiny spine. Skevs sneaks in and tries to deposit his slimy payload onto the exposed shoulder of the enforcer.
Oh
Shit.
no! It's a 3.
Oh boy.
There's contact, you know, like Dr. Z is squelched onto him, but at that exact same moment, he turns around.
What are you doing there?
I'll quickly do a. So there is contact, or I mean,
There's contact, so you could potentially just like leap onto him and try and take over. If you fail, like he might be in a very bad mood.
I mean, fuck it. I've got a fucking upgrade, and this is a big old upgrade. So, yeah, I'm gonna try and sliver along quickly, do a biohack. So you want telepathy then hacking, or hacking then telepathy?
Either way,
Doesn't
it's
matter.
fine.
Oh shit! It's a 23 and a 25. That's a natural 20 and an 18.
Well
Well,
then,
dang it. I guess you just get to have whatever you want now.
yeah. So the hacking was a 23 with an 18 plus 5, and the telepathy was a nat 20 with a plus 5.
he turns around like and then like he freezes as suddenly he is a puppet, a meat puppet for Dr. Z. He's essentially just a big, bulky, 8-foot tall, well-armed suit for Dr. Z to pilot.
Noticing that Spines saw me on Skiev, I'm going to try and nestle myself near the top, try and use the height as the advantage for keeping myself hidden, and try and sit right at the top of the brain.
Like just sort of plop on top of his head kind of thing.
Yeah, since most people are looking up, right? Try and
Nestled
try
on
and
the
keep
back of his
hidden.
head like a little sort of skull cap.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like a French twist.
As he is like suddenly has the biohack ripped from him, Skevs is just like falls down on his butt and is just like skittering away, scampering, wide-eyed and horrified and shrieking as he starts trying to scramble away.
The Skiev still got that the stool that I came on.
Does. I mean, he drops it like though in this kerfuffle now.
All right. Lean down to pick up the stool and look at Spines and say, well, I don't know. I guess is Spines still
He's
there?
like has an odd compulsion to follow Skevs. So now he's sort of like,
Yeah.
now that Skevs is sort of running off and like not being all friendly, he's suddenly like a little bit confused. So he's not really in any way under your control at the minute.
Well, I'll just use some intimidate and be like, oi, carry this.
Give me a d20 for that, but like, obviously.
It's only an 8. Damn it.
You only gotta really fuck up big time for this sort of thing, because you are literally like not only are you big, bulky, and armed, you an enforcer for the biggest gang in the prison, and that's kind of common knowledge. So Spines just sort of takes the stool, like, right. As all this is happening, there's a whole lot of noise just outside Cleo's door.
Oh man, they're back. I'm inside the cell, right?
Yeah, you're in your cell.
Enjoying me time, and I'm hearing a noise. Is that the case?
There's a kerfuffle.
What kind of noise is this?
There's a kerfuffle outside. You can hear someone screaming and scrambling in the dirt, basically.
Ooh. I'm gonna like bang on like the. I guess I don't have a door. Do we have doors?
Yeah, you got a door. It's
That's pretty fancy because I feel like prisons usually don't let you have a door, but you do get like a bar thing. But this is nice. Okay, so I have a door. That's great for when I'm doing weird shit in my cell, which is all the fucking time.
it's a door that's just got like a sort of a big, slam it with the palm of your hand,
like a
button,
window.
it goes, and just opens and closes, from either side.
Oh, that's even fancier. Oh my god. Okay, I'm like really impressed by that.
I mean, you're on a
design
satellite.
of this prison.
They haven't skimped on the on the auto doors.
That's really great. So I'm annoyed by this this noise, and I'm gonna bang on my door, and hey, whoever's out there, why are you making a ruckus in front of my abode? Don't you know who lives here? You better mind your own biscuits so that your life will stay gravy.
I like that one.
Thank you. It's from Shutterstock.
Wait, Shutterstock, the fucking photo website?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm not paying you for it, Shutterstock, by the fucking way. Anyway.
Yeah, because you just added the watermark, basically.
Yeah, watermark
so
is still
free.
intact.
I saw it when I was looking for photo references for something else, and I was like, gonna file that away in my sticky little secret bag of tricks. Anyway.
What?
I don't know. I said that and I regretted it instantly.
But Dick, in trying to figure out what's going on here, so like, do I must be aware now that I've got this brute mind. Must be aware of who Cleo is.
So you know as much as this guy knows about Cleo, is that Cleo is a new recruit who's just proven herself useful as an explosives expert and is now tentatively under the employ of the king.
All right, I'll turn to the manager, I guess, that was just the redhead lady, and say
she's the prison's king's chief engineer. She her job nowadays is mainly just to scout talent.
Oi, look here, I'll be right behind you. Just want to lay out some rules with this new fresh recruit.
All right, just don't take too long.
God, what have I done with her
I'll never
voice?
I'll never take too long. And
Okay.
yeah, this guy prides himself on being quick.
I got that.
Maybe the race of beings that he is length is a problem. So I will kind of bang on the door and make sure that Spines has got the legs, the stool with them.
He's just sort of standing there like an idiot, like looking left and right, like when can I go? Like hanging on to the stool. He's
Oi, smart bear, I got an offer for you.
Okay, so is that the brute talking to me as Dr. Z?
Yeah, that's me using that's me
just
talking through the brute.
Just clarifying what is happening.
So, still be this voice, technically.
All right.
Smart bear, you in there? I got an offer.
smart bear.
An offer. Smart
Yeah.
bear. Well, why don't you just speak your piece right through my little door hole here now?
You see
I
what
ain't
the
taking
spiny
visitors.
You see what the spiny fella's holding? What can you make out of that? I want out of this bloody prison. That could be key.
Cleo is intrigued.
You're a smart bear. You've been making bombs and such. That bag was full of crap. But those legs there, could you do anything?
Are you referencing your little
The
stool thing?
Yeah, the stool. I'm sacrificing the stool to try and get you to make a bomb out of it.
Oh my god.
Because I'm in this body. I don't need the legs anymore. I'm just trying to get out of the fucking prison.
This is kind of cute because, like, you're bringing all these little things here.
Mm.
It's just so, like, I don't know why, but it's moving me.
Can you make a fucking bomb or not? Or maybe not a bomb, but can you make something?
Can you? Yeah, a magnet for your fridge.
Can you just fucking get on?
But the thing is, it has like a fully functioning power source. It's got tiny little miniature jet engines. It's even got like some moving parts. It's got water spritzers. It's got a vocal modulator. It's got a lot of stuff in it, and it most certainly could be used to make quite a impressively large bomb.
All right, so Cleo was in there thinking about it and not saying anything. Are you out there getting, like, antsy?
Well, I'm looking around because I'm not comfortable, you know.
Okay, I'm gonna whip the door open and be like, get in here. Bring your shit. And then you bring all your crap in here.
Yeah. All right, Spines. Take the legs.
Spine's just looking more and more upset at the way their day is going, as they have to sort of like walk into this random cell now, carrying this little stool tray vehicle.
Yeah. I look at the smart bear and be like, Smart bear, I'm Dr. Z, and I point to the top of the head, and be like, good to be working with you, and crouch to get through the door. I've been in here for far too long. Almost an hour.
Did your guy come in in an hour?
And I crouch in with the big guy. Yeah, I'm not giving up the robot, but like giving up this body, this shell.
I'm looking around at all, like, you've got him and you've got the other guy too, right?
Yeah, I've got Spines is carrying the legs into the room.
But he's just sort of intimidated into being involved in this. So he
All right, I'm looking at, like, you've got the big guy, Spines. Is the female character gone?
Yeah, so the other enforcer and the engineer have left, so it's just Dr. Z riding about on the enforcer, whose name is Bold.
What about the
Bold?
Bold.
Oh, cool.
Oh, okay, that's nice. What about the female character? The female character that you had earlier.
Skeeve?
Yeah.
Skeevis has run away.
Oh,
As soon as I jumped off Skeevis's body, Skeevis just ran away.
All right, perfect. I got it now. So I'm gonna like observe all of this and just kind of be like, and shut the door like behind you. They are you.
Yes, but really,
I see.
just
I see.
the cap is me.
Okay.
This is all walking material, and
Your friend over here, all right? His cornbread don't seem done in the middle. You know what I mean?
Spines is sort of
Spines
looking
is,
more and more. What?
You all right, boy? Hey,
Yeah, you're all right.
you gonna be quiet?
What?
You're gonna be able to keep your cool, Spines. You're gonna be able to make it out of this bloody hellhole with us, or are you
Listen.
gonna be a liability?
You got a choice. You got a choice now, son. You can get glad in the same britches that you got mad in. Can you keep it together? We ain't be having no noise in here.
Or should we end it now, Spines, and save ourselves the fucking hassle?
Just 'cause a chicken got wings don't mean it can fly.
oh, I like that one.
I can help you escape. I've got a key to the cleaning closet.
Let me get that key, boy.
Spines shakily pulls out just like a key fob, sort of a key cardy thing on a
How many's he got? How many keys he have?
Oh, it's just like a little digital fob thing. It's not a like a skeletal turny key. It's his space after all.
I keep forgetting that we're ancient.
And it's on a lanyard.
Ew, like an IT guy.
While this is going on, I'm going to direct Bowl over to the shower and say,
Hope you don't mind.
I'm going to sit the character down underneath the shower and turn the tap on and just have the water kind of dribble onto Dr.
Drizzles
Z.
quite pathetically, but it is enough to rehydrate the slowly drying form.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to do that.
Okay, so I am tasked with making a bomb out of the legs.
I misspoke. It doesn't necessarily need to be a bomb. I'm just, I realize
Because
you're
I'm
a
trying
smart
to like
bear.
figure out what your plan is. Like, are you wanting to explode something or did you want to keep?
I'm wanting to get out of this fucking prison, and you're a smart bear, and you can
you've
make
brought
stuff.
me the legs to use as parts, and is that
I've realized, yeah, that's parts. What you want to make, what you want to
Okay,
do,
cool,
up to you.
Excellent. And this dude has the key fob.
Mm-hmm. Or
Okay.
the cleaning
So
closet.
Cleo would have a bit more knowledge than Dr. Z. Actually, Dr. Z would have this knowledge now, having inhabited both Skivs and Bowl, that Dr. Z was obviously shipped in a crate, but generally prisoners are just brought in cuffs. There's basically an entire space station and a small living quarters where the on-site guard staff, of which there are very few, but they are incredibly well armed. So there's usually at least 2 or 3 ships and around a half dozen guard staff just living in that little space station section outside the airlock, and it's the only way in or out of prison.
So there's how many people in this airlock?
There's usually no more than about a half dozen. Like none of you
Okay.
know for sure like who or what's out there, but there's usually there's usually a couple of ships worth of guards, and they do like rotating rosters, and they come from the nearby moon.
Cool. So there's like half dozen in the airlock, maybe, and then surprise possibility.
Yeah, I mean, and basically all they
then-
really do is intake. Like they bring people in and then slam the door shut, and that's and then but sit around and play cards.
Oh, also, I just realized because I'm Bowl, I've got that junky blade as well.
Ah,
Got a big shitty junk sword.
so you have
Feel free to scavenge whatever you want off this shell either.
one of those, one of the big shitty junk swords.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, perfect. Okay, this is really exciting. So basically, I'm kind of taking stock of all of this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing the junk sword, the leg apparatus, and the key fob of, magical little janitor closet keys with this lanyard.
Mhm.
And I'm just kind of gonna look at you guys in my planning mode. So y'all trying to break out.
I don't plan. I'm spent. Wait, wrong voice. I don't plan to be here by sundown.
Are you making any stops on the way? Or is it just the two of you?
If this spines can keep up, I don't mind.
Oh, I really like that Spines might get to escape. Just by virtue of being someone that you bullied.
Isn't that life, though? You like...
Sound good to you, Spines?
Oh, if you can get me out of here. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, sounds like Spines is the most excited out of all of us.
Well, I'm glad that he's excited because now I'm attached. Great. So I guess this is the Cleo, Z, and Spines show. And now you're gonna have to figure out how to fit him into the other show.
I mean, you've always got to introduce. If you're missing a play, you got to introduce a new character. Where do you think? Like there's a little mouse guy in the
Skeeb.
Skeeb. This is
in the
this is
Blaznak
Space
the
Skeeb.
Blaznak solo episode.
Wait, now that Spines has stuck around for more than 2 minutes, can you give us a better description, like a more detailed description of what
Since
a
we
Spines
haven't
is?
cut him down.
So Spines is kind of hedgehog-like, has
Oh, cool.
dark purple spiky spines, all sort of pointing backwards,
We liked that too much.
and with a sort of
Yeah.
a pointy little muzzle of a face,
Oh my god, I feel worse about yelling at him now.
and just wearing like kind of like a shredded jumpsuit, but just wearing the bottom, like the trousers of it, and then the top half is sort of like folded down and tied in a knot.
Mm-hmm.
This is very
All right.
specific. I like that I'm kind of picturing him as like off-brand Sonic the Hedgehog, but with like an 80s t-shirt on.
Shadow.
He's sort of, he's a bit more, like, he's not as cute as Sonic the Hedgehog. He's a bit more sort of bulky.
He's
and,
like kind of ugly.
Kind of hunchbacked a bit, like, you know, like, doesn't really have much
Ugh.
of a neck, like a
But
real
he's got
hedgehog.
one of those like sexy stretched out t-shirts with a little like where you tie it up in a knot on your side, and then you get one of those like stupid
It's
little
hot.
things to like put it through so that it holds it up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That looks like a shitty belt buckle, but it's plastic. So I'm now kind of calculating. I've got all my crap laid out before me. This is really good because I can use the junk sword as a solder. I, as a character, would like to pick up my possessions, and that's probably in the intake. So I'm not telling you guys any of this because I'm thinking it through in my head, but
Is the sleeve engine, the only one of them
Yeah.
that you've got, the only one you might be able to find is hopefully
Yeah,
somewhere
and-
still there in lockup.
so I know that we need a
Wait, can
weapon.
you, for the listeners that aren't aware, can you quickly just describe what the sleeve engine is? If this is the first time
Is
they've
that
heard
something
about
that
it?
we have even introduced in game yet?
We haven't. It's
Yeah.
possible that we've said something before
Mm.
because, like, we've talked about what's on our character
So the
sheets.
sleeve engine is a device that Cleo carries with her, an experimental device that essentially allows the transfer of the consciousness of one being into another body.
Yeah, and I stole it.
It's a very valuable item that probably
stole it.
Cleo would rather not part with.
Yeah, probably not because maybe I have hope that I can get out of this body,
Mm.
and that might be the only way to do it. That is the only way to do it, I think, because I sleeved in here. So if I want out, I'm gonna have to sleeve out. But to get into that room and to exit, so like our goals kind of intersect. We need to have a weapon, but we also need, I guess we don't need a key. I'm trying to think of the most clever way to what to make. All right, listen. We need to get out of here because we need to get out through the front door and I need to pick up a package. You got anything in the impound that you want to pick up?
Not unless I find another suitable host. This one should do fine. Maybe a little bit of a water bottle. Get a bit parched out there in the corridors.
All right, well, we got ourselves a shopping list then.
Fuck, I
Now
should
it
have done
looks...
that was the wrong voice as well. My bad,
I
but
think you
I'll-
probably just start using Dr. Z's voice when you're not, you know, like pretending to be Bol. I think that sort of makes sense.
Oh, okay, yeah, that works for me. I'll do
Yeah,
that.
I think
That's easier for me to do as well.
I liked when you tried to do that other voice, though.
What do you mean tried? I mean, you mean nailed?
And then, like, you know, as soon as you're like, you know, like you've got to actually, I've got to actually play in character as Bol, then, you know, you can sort of like put on the voice. And it's sort of like, I don't know.
It's easier for people to distinguish. Yeah, sounds good.
I like it. Now it looks like our interests are aligned. I'm going to give the key fob back to you, tall guy.
Dr. Z.
Yep. All right.
I like that yep sounds like she still hasn't remembered it.
And what about you, smart bear?
I'm going to keep this.
Your name.
Well, now I thought my reputation would have preceded me here, and I am sorry to have been mistaken. Imagine the offense. They call me Cleo deCap. I'm the fastest gun in the mid-space.
Pulls out a gun, there's mayonnaise slopping off it.
I'm the fastest gun in the mayonnaise.
Right, well, I mean, yeah, we're not going to top that.
That built like an image in my mind that derailed me into an entirely different dimension. Anyway, I'm gonna keep all of these here and I'm gonna make us a bit of a weapon so that we can break through that door. And I'm just gonna need to... No, we're not doing that. You're gonna use the key.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
you
not
gave me the
gonna
key.
build-
I
Well,
mean,
there's like
you don't know that
there's
I've
still
got
like the airlock, the big vault door that like opens and closes is from the outside. Like you're not going to be able to hack your
I
way
do
into
need...
that because it's
Okay. We still do
there is
need
no
to get
way to
through
open
the
it
door.
from the inside. Like they don't take people back out. You know?
Okay, so I would like to... How many bombs can I make from the legs and the sword?
So if you're taking apart all of it, you could make several bombs, but what you're really lacking is because you've only got the two power sources. is you need either power source or ammunitions or even just like a big supply of credits, because you need some of that
like
sand
gunpowder.
to fuel these.
Isn't there any in the junk
detonations.
sword? Because the junk sword turns on.
Yeah, so both the junk sword and the legs have both got
Yeah.
basically like power sources or munition packets.
Cool. That's what I was hoping for.
So you can make 2 functional bombs, although you've got enough gizmos. You could probably make about 6 or 7 if you could get your hands on some more power cells or ammunition.
If I was to make like a tiny pole arm that expelled shrapnel / ammunition out of these items, would that be possible?
I reckon so. That's a horrifying concept, but yeah, this is like a.
Because I'm kind of picturing the junk sword almost more like a spear that's not long. You know what I mean? Like a plasma shiv.
Plasma shiv. I mean, that's
Like-
kind of what it is.
Like
'cause
if you took a broom and you taped a knife to the end of it, but it was electric.
that's pretty
And then-
that's pretty accurate. Like it's. I
Yeah.
described it as being like a fluorescent light bulb. You know, those big long wide ones they have in office buildings.
Yeah, okay, that's better
It's kind of like that,
than what I just
but then
described.
it's got like sort of like sparkles sort of kind of down one edge of it, and then like random junk
Jeez.
handle and bits and pieces, and sort of just little like a pointy shiv end at it in the end. But it's
But what I kind of want is like I want it to also be like a melee weapon. So I do want it to stay somewhat spear or sword like, but I also want it to animate in some way. So I was hoping to use the legs as like not full bombs, but like some sort of almost bullet style tiny bomb that it could like spit out like a Nerf gun or something.
I mean, that sounds fun.
And then I could use like a gun stat to roll for when I use it like that.
Yeah, so it's sort of be like this little sort of like electro spear thing where you've kind of like chopped off like half of the electro thing and turned it into like the sort of diffuser that just blasts out
Yes.
like whatever metal you've shoved in one end of it, kind of like an old school blunderbuss.
Excellent.
You can just like pack it in.
Sawed
and then-
off.
I mean, sounds good. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. Crafting music. Cool. So, thank God it's an 18 though.
In fact, it's a 23 functionally.
Oh, wouldn't that have been so
Brilliant.
sad if it was like a 3?
You have just ruined
really
the
would've-
2 devices that are in your disposal.
It would have actually been like a broom with like a butter knife taped to the end.
But yes, Cleo rather successfully convert the 2 things into what can only be described as a kind of like shrapnel cannon / energy spear.
Nice.
It's a 2-handed weapon that has a not particularly long range blast and a particularly lethal melee component. It's not an amazingly good weapon, but it's easy to use. Easy to hit the wrong people as well, because there's going to be a bit of a spray in the front of it when it goes off.
Ugh, I like that.
Mhm.
I like that. All right, I've got the gunpowder now. You tell me, what's your plan to get out? Sounds like you've been ruminating on this for a while now, all 26 minutes that you've been bothering around in here. Now, what you got?
I will use the brain that I'm occupying to try and figure out the best route. Can you tell me what that would be, Dick?
It would be exactly the way you came back to get to the door.
Ah,
But
easy.
you did see
there.
that there were no control panels in that room.
Okay. Does the sleeve I'm in have any idea of like where control panels can be found?
He doesn't really know much, but he knows that like a lot of the prison's sort of central systems are run from actually just a sort of like a little control room in the kitchen in the center of the prison, where the rival gangs that he's not a member of control the food source that gets dropped in. They also have control over some other aspects of the infrastructure. So if there is a way into the back end of what controls the doors and everything else, it may well be in there.
All right. Yes. Off to the kitchens. Should be able to find some type of control panel there. And using this key, we may be able to find ourselves a door that can be opened. And then, over to you, I believe.
You need an escort?
Yes. Why not? And how does that make you feel, Spines?
Spines are sort of looking like sort of nervously between the two of you, but you're both very big and very strong looking, and Cleo is now quite possibly one of the best armed people in the entire facility. So he's sort of, this is gonna work! This is gonna work, my friends!
Slow down, Spines. This will work, but, friends? Rushing it a bit. Smart bear. Oh, wait, you've told me your name? Cleo, you have, yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Well, let me get the voice back on, and let's get out there, find ourselves a kitchen.
And I'll quickly splash some more water on my head, or rather sit up from the drizzling shower that I've been having, and walk out the door.
All right. So as you step out, there's you can see there are like several prisoners from this sort of area who've like been sitting outside their cell doors, just sort of watching that door because there's been like quite a bit of commotion. People are very curious as to what's been going on with Cleo, but also like why the enforcers hanging around in there so long. But they very quickly like turn their heads and like look away, like pretend they're minding their own business, whistling to themselves, kind of thing, as the three of you step out.
What you lot looking at?
Oh, Bowl. Nothing at all, mate. No, nothing.
Nothing. Huh?
No, not at all. And
So what, I'm nothing to you now, am I?
I didn't mean that. Look, we all work for the same person. Let's try have a little bit of civility, can't we?
Yeah, well, stay out of my way.
All right.
Cleo is having a thought.
Dangerous.
Yeah, it actually is in this context. Why are we being secretive about it if we're all prisoners?
Wait, we're not being secretive, though.
But you could organize like a mass breakout, yeah, like a riot.
Yeah, like why don't we just like let everyone out?
Because how are we supposed to trust everyone when there's a prison king?
There are
who's,
only two
clearly...
ships out there that you know of that can only fit like a few people on them.
Okay.
But if there's a prison king who's probably happy with how the status quo is, we don't want to go fucking that up, do we?
I'm gonna like side whisper to you. Hey,
Yeah,
big guy.
I'm listening.
You got any allies in here, or is it just what I'm seeing?
Well, considering that I'm not actually the big guy, and considering that I've only been here for 26 minutes, and considering that I've only just talked to you and Spines here, no, there's no one else here.
I see. You think they're gonna let us up in this here kitchen?
Look at us. They're gonna let us in.
And start walking.
All right, I'm definitely gonna try to get into the kitchen under the guise of getting food.
Under the guise of getting food, or just literally kind of main goal?
Under the guise of getting food, and also to do
I was
that.
gonna say like under the guise of finding the control panel for Dr. Z, but really,
Priorities, Cleo.
I'm gonna pretend like I'm looking for food. I'm gonna actually look for food, and I'm gonna distract them while he does whatever the fuck he thinks he's gonna do, because as a bear human, I vaguely understand why we need to be here, but I know that it's definitely like not my thing that is about to happen.
Well, Dr. Z, wait a second. The cooks.
Oops.
The cooks they're quite cagey about who's allowed to go in there.
And are you allowed in there?
Me, no. I work for the king, same as the both of you. Well, we don't have access to the kitchens.
Well, there we go. We work for the king. They'll let us in.
It's not how it works.
And what do you suggest, Spines?
Well,
Of course, now this is happening.
maybe we need to get in with the cooks.
We gotta make friends. How are we gonna make friends immediately?
Well, I'm pretty good at making immediate friends.
Point up to the top of the head again.
Where are the cooks then?
as you've been sort of walking towards the kitchen, sort of getting down further down the one of the internal corridors, you finally do burst out into the big, wide recreational area, and you can see there's probably at least 100 prisoners in here. A lot of people sort of sitting around really idly, just looking very bored and hopeless. There's people playing sort of basic games and stuff. There are a lot of people just, like doing chin-ups on broken gym equipment and that sort of thing. And there's a big queue of people for breakfast, and you can see the kitchens. And the kitchen is just a big square, sort of almost like a sort of a tower in this big central area. It's got really high ceilings. The kitchen is like a sort of like a 2 or 3 story slab of metal.
All right.
You can see there's a side door that's just closed up, and then there's a like a big serving window through which you can see three of presumably members of the cooks. They've all got chef's hats, but they're also all wearing the same sort of bomber jackets with an embroidered chef's hat on the back.
What?
All right, well, that's where we gotta go.
Can I roll a perception, seeing if there's anything in the vicinity of the kitchen that they might be struggling with, like that I might be good at, like cutting or rending or lifting,
So you,
or like lighting something up, like lighting a cigarette or something?
you can see that, like, really all that seems to be happening is there's 3 of these cooks in this window, and there's a big queue of people, and they keep calling people over, slopping what looks like someone's daily allowance of a kind of a unpleasant grey sludge into these reusable metal bowls and shoving them to them, and these people sort of just grabbing these things and skittering off. But you can see that there is like a whole lot of action out back, and you can't really quite see what's going on, but it sounds like there are people arguing and rushing about, and there's a lot of action in the back of the kitchen.
There's a bit of commotion there.
Well, now that's the best way to make a friend.
I agree.
Let's get on out into it. Make a friend and an enemy.
Keep up, Spines.
Oh, sorry, Dr. Z.
Spines. It's Bowl. Bowl.
So, Bowl, of course, Bowl.
And he winks.
No wink there, Spines. It's just Bowl, no wink.
Yes.
And then he sort of grins, like a knowing grin at you.
Cleo thinks it's funny, and she's gonna wink at him. Small wink, just between us. Do the,
You know what,
just do the-
Spines? Maybe after I'm done with Bowl, I might try and have a little ride inside your mind as well.
Uh-oh. Just do the wink to me. Don't do the wink to him. Do the wink to me.
He looks as though he's trying to keep his eyes pried wide open as he scuttles along.
I thought we was friends too, Spines. You don't got a wink for your friend?
As he's scuttling along, I look at Cleo and I go,
I like him.
Cleo's gonna wheel around on him real quick to scare him and be like, no winks? Still don't got no winks for your friend?
He's sort of like looking back and forth, but finally decides that Cleo is the more immediate threat, and sort of does a weird, confused wink where he sort of like grimacing at the same time.
That's how I like 'em.
So are you approaching the serving windows or the side door?
Side door where the commotion is.
Wait. What if they get pissed about that? Because I was thinking I might head up to the window first.
Yeah. All right. I can follow you if you want to do that.
No, because then I might get shut down. You're right. I'm gonna go to the commotion.
You're so scared of what ifs today. What's happened?
That's all right. There's good things can happen no matter what you choose to do. That is the joy.
That's
of
true.
Of
Well,
tabletop
no,
gaming.
I'm not scared. I just realized that like I might not have a persuasive enough thing to do at the window to get them to let us in the door. So it might be easier to just go in the door, and then when they get weird about it, just be like, "The boss sent me. Fuck off."
Okay. Well, as you get closer, you see that the three figures in the chef's hats and patched up bomber jackets are all synthetics.
Bugger.
And as you get to are you gonna just like barge in or
Yeah, I'm gonna just head back not like in a disruptive way, but just like I have business or was expected.
All right, so as you get in, the three cooks who are serving everyone, and it suddenly makes a lot of sense that the synthetics would be in charge of the food supply because they personally don't need it.
That doesn't make any sense to me. Why?
In the kitchen,
Why
there's a
would they
whole
care
lot of
about
chaos. There is there's like a line of droids. There seems to be like 3 or 4 droids who just their job is just to constantly like rip open these plastic sacks of powder and toss them into this giant what could only be described as a cauldron.
Okay.
And then there's further synths who and they've all got the same chef's hats and bomber jackets on. There's further synths, and these are mostly ones who seem to have like little wheelie contraptions to make them move fast, who are just like wheeling around carrying pots full of stuff that they're emptying out of a like a hand pump where they pump the sort of like nasty grey porridge stuff that the powder turns into out of the cauldron into these big heavy pots, which they're wheeling back and forth to the towards the serving window where they're then being doled out into the bowls. There's a constant sort of like scurrying of pots going back and forth. There's a chute where these metal bowls are just flying in one by one, and just bouncing off one another and scattering everywhere, all over the place. And every now and then, there's one poor droid who seems to have lost their chef's hat, who's just gathering up all these bowls and trying to wash them and bring them back to the head of the queue. And it's
That's the situation.
absolute chaos, but there seems to be like method in the madness because the food is just continually going out and these droids are just whizzing about, never quite crashing into one another, but constantly looking as though they're about to.
I'm rolling a perception to try and look for that lost chef hat. I rolled a 17.
You spot the chef's hat. It's actually partially buried under a big pile of the metal plates that have been popping in the chute to be washed.
Ah. I'll point, tap Cleo, and point and say,
Looks like we got ourselves an in there.
point out the chef's hat.
How big's the space? Could I fit in there? Can either of us fit in there?
But into the kitchen?
Into where the hat is to go get it?
Oh, I mean, it's just like under a pile of bowls. It's
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go over to that without getting into anybody's way, because that will be a different kind of commotion. And I'm gonna quickly pick the hat out of that pile. I'm assuming it won't be like that much work, but
it's an easy enough. But as you walk in,
Oh.
several of the closest droids stop and stare at you, while some of them sort of watching you with like glaring eyes and their heads turning to constantly face you as they whiz by, still continuing to do their jobs. The assembly line doesn't seem to slow pace, although several of perhaps the least essential members of the of the tasks at hand suddenly stepping in to confront you. Several of these droids, attachments that sort of flick out like flick knives out of their arms, and you can see they've got sort of prison modifications where they've added shivs to their bodies.
okay, cool.
I'll step in and use Bowl's booming voice and be like,
Now, no need to do that. Just new grunt hair doing work.
Now, wait a minute, my friend. The prison king don't have any say here in the kitchens. This is Cook's territory. You don't want a gang war to be happening, do ya, Bowl? I'd get out of here if I was you.
ooh,
Oh, they know bowl.
uh,
I'm gonna just use that moment to collect the hat and raise my hands and kind of be like, well, we ain't looking to be starting no war. We's just coming through here looking for a tool on a job. And we absolutely don't intend to be disrupting all of your fine work and your fine services here. Now, I think that maybe one of you is missing a hat. Please allow me to redeem myself by rectifying this here mistake.
The
And I'm
the
gonna
chef
offer the hat.
the chef who's missing the hat, he snatches it, rams it onto his little robot head. The central sent to Fisher Crunch is like,
Well, look here. Look here, friend. If your king wants to be renegotiating the rules of our agreement, to take use of our tools, then he can come and talk to me in person.
Okay. I've offered the hat, so I still have my hands moderately up, but not all the way. And I'm gonna kind of incline my head a little bit and start to back away. And I'm gonna say, well, now, it is a job that the tools are needed for, but now it may not be the king's job. Might be doing a little freelancing for myself. Might be planning on taking a holiday pretty soon here, and maybe y'all are interested in something like that. Maybe this is a job that we need to be doing together.
the central synth is sort of like looking sort of back and forth between the two of you, like,
Are you in on this, Bowl? You really gonna leave your king behind?
I just fucking outed us.
can I try and grab some? Try and grab some water
you can do. There's
in a cup
there's
or
like a
anything?
chute that is constantly dripping water into the sort of the cauldron.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just redirect it on top of the head and be like,
Yeah, I'm into this.
Into it.
yeah.
Right. Come into my office.
Ooh, all right.
And then he sort of like looks
I'm
What's
absolutely gonna.
Spines doing?
Come on,
Follow.
Spines.
looks among the other synths is like,
None of you say a word of this to anybody. You hear that?
And I'm happy to hear it.
and he quickly like sort of struts forward. He's very tall, angular, kind of praying mantis-y kind of droid. Sort of hops about almost on each springy limb back into the office towards the back,
Cool.
and then whips around like looking at Cleo. Then
Right then, fuzzball. You say you got a plan to take a vacation. I'm all ears.
Leo's gonna non-threateningly remove the bedsheet from the sparkly weapon. And I'm not gonna proffer it at them because it is a weapon and things are a little tense. But I am going to display it in a very neutral way. Emphasis. Yeah, we might have a plan. It's forming, but this is at least 60% of it right here, and I can guarantee you that it works.
the cook sort of is leaning in to look at the waves like,
Well, that's how you get past the guards, at least. But there's still that.
As he's leaning over and he's mid-sentence, I'll reach over a tentacle and try and plug in the key. And you said I could use that as like a hacking device?
'cause it's a digital key. So like if you've sort of just popped a spindly little tentacle in, because I feel like you trained in hacking just like in your little sort of underwater colony with your underwater technology and stuff. I feel like you can hack without having a device, just using your tentacles, yeah? As long as you've got some little sort of
cool.
little key interface thing like this.
All right, yeah, and then I do that.
I kind of imagine that you sort of like, you produce like little electrical currents and you're just manipulating the device like in the machine code almost, just from the inside.
I mean, it sounds very cool to me. Roll hacking?
Boop, 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 beep. Hacker man.
15.
Wow. Okay, that's enough, right? Get it in
Yeah,
there.
so that the head
that.
head of the cooks is in the middle of a sentence.
Well, that explains how you get past the guards, but there's still that guy.
As Dr. Z hacks into his main controlling systems.
Well, so much for that.
So I don't agree. 60% of the plan? Well, we are at least 50-50 on this.
I had to sell it to him, friend. I had to sell it to him. Now, did you not see how far he leaned in? You'd think he could smell with that nose.
What the bloody hell are you doing, Spines? Huh?
He's still just sort of trotting along. He's still carrying what's left of the stool, just the kind of the seat portion that didn't get turned into Cleo's weapon, because he feels like he hasn't been told he's allowed to not yet. He's
Yeah, well, good. He's the
been
purse
trotting
now.
along.
Bag of holding.
All right, let's expand our little gang to include these cooks then.
All of them?
I mean, this is the head
Yep.
cook, right?
Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
take them all. We need a little, we either need distraction or we need an army or we need more things, right? So.
Yeah, well, we need to find that panel that's in here so that we can...
Oh, yeah. But let's,
Or maybe we don't now.
I'll still look for a panel, but,
Okay.
I mean,
because we want to open,
you got
because we
to
need to find a door
get out of
to open.
out of the compound
Ah.
somehow.
Actually, wait. I'm in the cook's mind. Surely they're getting deliveries somehow,
Yes,
right?
you know now that they receive these big sacks of powder down a chute, just in the
All right.
just in the in another sort of locked room next to this one.
All right. I'll pick up I'll get Bowl to pick up the robot, so that I can still sit on Bowl and also have my tentacles fiddling around with the robot.
It's getting complicated. Yeah.
and then I'll broadcast through the head chef to everyone. Delivery inbound now. All hands. Kitchen's closed. And then I guess form ranks and walk with this chef battalion towards the delivery bay.
Big guy.
Yes, smart bear. I mean Cleo.
Why don't you make sure and just add on to your message, just say, them's are friends.
Oh yes.
Ussens.
Ussens are friends.
Yeah. Don't forget that part. Don't.
Yeah, I'll paint us as friends in the robot's mind.
All right. So I ain't got any more hats I can grab. All right.
Yeah.
So as you come out of the office, all the chefs, all the cooks, you can see like they've hastily slammed down the serving window. There's a lot of like dismay and like groaning and like people banging on the window on the outside, but they're all standing intently looking.
Great. That's exactly what we need. Hungry people mad at
Hungry
us.
people. Yeah.
A bunch of hungry criminals mad at us because we stopped breakfast.
No, not us. They're looking at Bowl. I'm gonna say message from the king. No more.
Oh, you, I
food."
mean, you can't really see your
And,
head though, because like the windows has been sort of pulled down, like a
right.
big metal window.
Oh, damn it,
and
I was
there's just
gonna-
people banging on it and groaning on the outside. You just sort of hear the general unrest at the situation.
Oh, good. I thought maybe I could
that's
start a
that's
little
a great
gang war,
idea.
try and get everyone hating each other. Yeah.
I can't wait until the king decides that he's heard too many rumors about himself, and then he comes out to be like, hey, what are you idiots doing?
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be a good moment.
That is something that could potentially occur.
So what's the story, boss? We really getting out of here?
One of the cooks, sort of looking a bit confused at their leader, who's being sort of kind of half carried by Bowl.
Oh, he assumed that because the leader is with us?
Was because you announced it in front of half of these droids that you were planning to escape,
Oh,
and
I thought we were alone
and then
with
Dr.
the
Z
leader.
just sent a message to all of them that they were receiving a delivery, but I kind of envision that they're going to take that inside quotation marks because
Yeah.
they've already been sort of
Okay,
gossiping around themselves about some potential escape.
Grab your shivs. Grab your knives. Wait, no, this is Dr. Z. Talking through the...
Grab
through
your
the
shivs, grab your knives. We're breaking out of here tonight.
Grab your shivs. Grab your knives. We have a delivery inbound. Form ranks.
Some of them like
Exactly.
flipping out their little flick knife attachments on their arms. Others just grabbing pots off the wall.
And someone get this bloody spine something.
Spines pulls
Spatula.
out his own shiv. The sort of
Oh.
it's like
Oh,
a.
that's cute.
Well, I told you about it. It's a cog, big machine cog that's
Oh,
been sharpened
yeah.
on the spiky edge. Spiny like him.
Oh, okay, that's cute.
I like it. All right, we're all armed.
His was one of the first
So,
shivs you.
let's-
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, and they all form up in the ranks of like looking nervously at one another. It's like,
I never thought I would see the outside galaxy again. Oh, boss, this is going to be great.
they're all sort of marching in behind as you go to the delivery bay. There's a big, heavy locked door on it, but one of the other synths just quickly marches up, pulls out a key, and unlocks it and opens it up as you approach.
Hand over that key.
Of course, boss.
And he quickly hands it over, still looking a bit confused, but
We're not going to need it anymore, you see. Wanted to keep it as a little bit of a token.
Anything you say, boss.
Just to mind at ease.
and all the cooks and you sort of move into the room, and it's there are just either side of you. There's just piles and piles of these sacks. It looks like it's enough food for potentially the next few days, judging by the rate at which they were using it to serve breakfast. And then towards the back of the room, there's a very sort of makeshift power loader type thing. It's kind of like an exoskeleton that a smaller synthetic can step inside to lift pallets of these things.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
In a prison? Oh, we about to get in that.
Yeah.
We're putting somebody in that
These
thing.
guys are
Who can
powerful.
fit?
And right at the back of the room, there's just the chute. You can see they've basically just like piled up a bunch of like mattresses and bits of like rubberized padding and stuff as some sort of safe landing so that the bags don't split. But it looks like they just sort of drop out of a chute in the ceiling.
Okay, so that's the way out. Up that chute.
I mean, it's a potential way out. It's a very obvious
Well-
way out that probably people have tried before and failed.
But I still want to get my sleeve engine from the intake.
Right, of course.
I'm gonna motion to the chute, look at one of the synthetics that's close by, and inquire about it. Any of y'all ever climb up that thing?
Oh, at least once a week. We all give it a go every now and then. Oh, I made it at least halfway. You don't even know how far halfway is. Oh, well, I saw the light.
And how high up was that light?
Oh, I don't see any light.
You didn't see any light.
He's about as confused as a fart in a fan factory.
All right.
That's a nice try, son, though. That's a hell of a climb. We're gonna need that kind of gumption in a minute.
Oh shit! I just rolled a nat 20. I wanted to do a perception thing to try and see what we got in this room.
All right. Well, aside from like pallets and pallets of these bags of like nutritional stuff, and the power loader looking like a very useful thing, either as raw materials or just as a strong exoskeleton. The chute itself looks, to your best estimation, like a dead end. Like it's too thin a chute for either Bowl or Cleo to climb up to begin with. But also it's just very steep, and it looks like it goes straight up for large portions. It looks as though it sort of has little curves and things built into it to try and slow the descent of the sacks, but is pretty unassailable. But what you do notice is on the wall to one side, there is a big, filthy, rusty control panel. It's got like a lot of fuse boxes and stuff, but there is like one bolted up control panel that looks promising. Looks like it might have access into some of the infrastructure of the facility.
All right. Cleo, I'm going to go over there and try and see what I can figure out with that old rusty box of wires. Be back shortly.
All right. You need a leg up?
I'll hulk over there because I need to still be holding onto this robot and keep Bowl in check.
Shit, yeah. How are you gonna... Well,
I can
wish you could
use
remotely control somebody.
Well, I can use the robot to I can control the robot chef and then control the thing from there.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I'm going to be busy doing that. And I'm also going to do a quick shout out to the chefs. Form ranks, eyes open. We're not out yet.
Is the lead chef called Crispy?
I mean, it's gonna have to be.
Crispy the chef!
Crispy chef.
Okay, so help me visualize this.
Mm-hmm.
You are riding Bowl on his back of his head.
So probably at this point I'm like sticking onto his arm somewhere.
Okay.
With one
like
tentacle,
an armband.
Yeah, like wrapped around an arm, and then Bowl is carrying the head chef, and then I've got my other tentacles like engineering away with a key card, manipulating that character.
And okay.
He's a
cool.
puppet master. So you did roll a natural 20 on your hat
chef...
of Crispy, the head chef. So you could conceivably you could like set him up on like a program script and like remove the tool, and like you've done, you've got such control in there that it should work. If you wanted to free up your device.
I'm okay. I kind of find it more amusing to me to be this thing being like this whole thing.
It's like sort of a farce. Just sort of getting a bit more complicated as things go on.
Yeah. But good to know.
But yeah, the cooks are all they're all lining up with their weapons drawn, like sort of looking towards the door, and like their heads all alert, shifting about. Meanwhile, Spines is investigating the loader and is firing the thing up.
Industrious little fellow.
And he is clambering inside, sort of trying to scratching at his louse-ridden spines as he straps himself into the seat belts and tries to operate the thing, giving it a bit of a test.
Fucking hilarious. Spines is now getting leveled up.
And so the control panel is behind just a big bolted hunk of metal on the front. You can see there.
Ah, it's behind the metal. All right. Actually, Cleo, might need your help here. Can't reach the wires within.
All right. And Cleo's like kind of moving over. Kitchens are usually not that big, so there's a lot of like maneuvering.
Yeah, backs. Watch your backs.
Behind. Behind.
Yes,
Side.
chef. Yes,
behind.
chef. Yell at a few of them for not saying chef.
Yes, chef.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm near you. What kind of help you enlisting, boy?
I need to get at the wires underneath this here panel. Too heavy for my hands, even though I have a few.
Well, I might have something for that. I might. It's called being big. I'm gonna rip whatever's over top of the panel.
Alrighty.
Off.
Give me a bear claws attack.
Oh my god, I forgot I had that. I never get to do it.
Always throwing bombs, never getting in for the bear hug.
That's like Hakes when I had so many spells and I never did board with a nail
You
in
were
it.
meant to be a pirate mage and you just never did any.
I just fireballed everything in like burning ray to death.
I mean, that's kind of what
Was
I
the
think like what
times.
D&D spellcasters are kind of supposed to do. Like smacking things with your board with a nail in it is very much a last resort when you're a sorcerer.
But she had really good melee stats, so
you
it was like,
you did
or
build
did
her
she
pretty
not?
weird.
She was like a stronger fighter than she was wizard in some time.
Yeah.
In like some case.
And
Yeah.
I picked some really dumb cantrips. Anyway.
Go back and listen to that first campaign if you haven't
Yeah,
already.
if you want to hear me not figure out languages and not use acid splash and never use my incredibly OP melee finesse,
Yeah.
that's the episode for you.
Mm.
But I just rolled a 19, which has a modification on it, so it's actually a 24.
Cleo is a weapons
Ooh,
master. She is
Claw.
a master of pretty much every form of combat.
Including myself.
And also because she's immensely strong, she's got an enhanced damage. She's actually pulled out 7 points of damage here, which would be enough to kill Dr. Z in his suit in one swipe.
Nice.
This is it's quite a serious swipe, and it does. It just
nice.
takes the panel clean off. Like, Cleo's claws basically rip the metal.
You see that? See that, Crispy? You see that strap or spike or whatever you call it? Get over here, boy. See how it's done.
Spines sort of clunks
Excellent
his
work.
way in the exoskeleton, sort of looking over like sort of his mouth wide. Like,
I don't see what you even need that energy spare for, Cleo.
Every lady needs a little sparkle.
Man, Spines must have been like, this day is so crazy.
Every day in prison is a new day.
Spines is just like, oh, what a crazy day for Spines.
Usually I'm really busy making toilet hooch, but wow, today's got blown
so
straight out
inside
of the water.
there's a quite a confused sort of control panel. It looks like a lot of it is sort of done with sort of hot wiring of like literally like rubbing cables to cables. There are a bunch of switches that seem to control various public lighting situations. But it does look as though
If we disable any of that, the
it
boss
does look
is
as though
coming.
that with all the sort of sort
Yeah.
of messing and stuff that they've done with the wires, that it's quite possible that you can manipulate just about everything in here if you play around with it and work out how it actually functions.
So I'm going to try and hack this panel then to figure out how we can open up that main blast door. Once I've done that, I want to try and figure out if I can reverse the chute to go the other way. That okay?
What's the other way?
Like to go up,
Oh, okay. To suck?
to suck, yeah.
Suck and shoot.
Yeah. Is that okay
That's
or is that not allowed?
I mean, you could do anything you want. Give me a hacking.
All right, I'll give you a hacking. Do you want 2 rolls for each?
Well,
I don't
give me
know
a
why
roll
I think
to
that's
see how
funny,
well
but-
you get into the system.
17.
Alrighty. It takes you a while. This is a long time. Like I imagine Cleo's sort of sitting there getting really really bored. All the droids are looking more and more nervous, twitching. They've all got their weapons still drawn, and it's a long process. Just sort of working your way through it and trying to re-scramble these wires to actually gain access the wider facility at large. But eventually you find an exploit. You find a way that this whole place has not been actually wired entirely securely, and you suddenly realize you are sitting basically on a switch now that you have made that will open the blast doors from the inside.
Okay.
The chute, it looks as though it's got multiple grates that seal inside it, but it doesn't have any sort of propulsion or suction in it. You could open up those grates, and that might allow a dexterous synth or some such to climb up it, but there's no other means of propulsion.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Yeah, turn the chute off so that it's able to be climbed then, and then I guess set a timer on the
There's a timer
on the door.
Oh. Well, the way you've got it set up is because you've just had to jury rig things in. You just have a switch.
Oh, okay. Cleo, I'm trying to set a timer on this. Is there any type of tool you can build?
Well, let's see. What are you missing? You just need the timey part, right?
The timey part. The part that will then flick this switch.
Stripe, skunk, stripe.
Spines.
Spines.
I'm not gonna call him
He's sort of
that.
like looking
That's my thing
confused,
now.
pointing at himself with the big, powerful, clawed exoskeleton arms. Like,
Me, Miss Cleo.
Yeah, come on over here now. I seen you got something in your hand you've been carrying around. Let me see it. Come on, hand it over. Come on over here now. Let me see what you got.
he sort of zzz over because he's in the
I
big
know.
exoskeleton power loader.
I'm gonna kind of nose through his pockets. I know I seen you carrying some things around. You acting like a bag boy. Now you've been following me all day. And what do you have in your hand there? What do you got in your pocket? Let me see it. You got some pieces left over?
He's sort of shrugging and looking, and he hands you the remaining pieces of Z's little device. As mainly just the stool that he was sitting on and some of the vocal system.
I'm gonna kind of claw with one finger, whatever, talon. I'm gonna claw through these a little bit, Kind of like when you watch Jungle Book and they're being like really specific about like what berries they're gonna eat or what pawpaws.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna pick out a couple of little pieces, like a spring and a little like metal flap and a few little tiny pieces that are hard to discern, and then I'm gonna just extract those from the pile, and I'm going to return them to him to deposit into his pocket for future usage.
He's sort of like just juggling all these things. He's had to unstrap one of his hands from the sort of wrist-mounted controls of the exoskeleton to try and get these things into his pockets. He's awkwardly manages to grab most of it. A few bolts do drop onto the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna roll a d20 because essentially what I'm doing is I am building a mechanism that I would build for a time release bomb. I'm just not building the explosive part.
Ooh.
And I rolled a 6. So, but is it 6 plus 5 because it's
Well,
bombs?
I don't know that you're making a bomb. I think you're just doing basic engineering here. So
Well, I am though. But well, it's like a bomb. Everything's a bomb, Nick, okay? Everything's a bomb. First of all, everything's a bomb. And then second of all, this is a piece that exactly belongs on a bomb because it's like the trigger mechanism. So I have to be good at trigger mechanisms because I make bombs every dang day.
I mean, I can buy this,
Yeah. You buying what I'm selling?
but you still gonna have to do some straight engineering to hook this thing up to the door.
All right. Does that need to be another roll?
Yes, you've got an 11. You have made not a good trigger, but it's
Okay.
one that it's certainly
I
it's
never
hooked
said it
up
was
on a
good.
timer.
I never said it was
and
good.
it might even set off at the time that you've actually set that you actually set it for.
I got a trigger and it might even trig.
Mm-hmm.
So another d20 or a
Just
lesser?
yeah, just a normal d20 without your.
Okay. Cool. So this one's just a flat 8, and that isn't the best. But hey, we're not all engineers. Some of us are artists.
So
gonna be
Cleo
fine.
Cleo gets in.
So
And with like her tongue sort of sticking out partially, I imagine, like with a sort of a real basic tool, she's blocking off the circuit with a strip of scrap metal as she removes the switch, integrates the timer instead of the switch, and everything seems to be going fine until she pulls out the energy blade to solder it, and that's when the clumsy bear paws do something unintended as she finds herself
Oh no.
soldering something wrong, because all of a sudden there's a faint click and Cleo is at least 90% sure that she just opened the door.
Brilliant.
cool.
So
Okay.
the timer was set for now, right?
Well, she did make a
Well,
good timer. The timer should have worked, but she might have installed it wrong.
All right.
Cool. Okay.
And there's just a moment where I think everyone involved can kind of tell by Cleo's expression that something hasn't quite gone right. And then suddenly you hear the public address system of the prison go off.
This is your king. There has been a malfunction at the main blast door. My forces are now assembling to protect you all from the horrid outside world. You're advised not to approach the door until the situation has been appraised.
Oh no.
Oh shit.
And that could be where we end it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's pretty good. Fuck.
I love how the king is like freaking inserting themselves right into the middle of this.
Well, you know, he's got a good thing going. He doesn't want
Brilliant.
anyone escaping.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it, but
Oh, that was so
too
good.
bad for him that we're about to roll up.
About to fucking get
And
out
he's
of
sort
here.
of like, I feel like you
Yeah.
got this prison king. Like he's got to be like was it Chekhov's revolver or whatever it is? Not Chekhov's, but that's a literary device. Like he's got to show up. And since you guys haven't really gone anywhere near him, and now your plan is to go directly away from him, I had to insert him somehow.
Had
So
to.
Cleo
it's
Cleo
good.
messing
It's
up
good. Gives
I
us someone
like
to fight
it.
against.
such a perfect thing to happen for a storytelling moment.
It was. It is working out really good.
I mean, I
You
suppose
better be
like that is kind of that's
Yeah.
D&D sometimes. Like you could have just gone in and out and never met the prison king. Like these things happen sometimes, but
Yeah.
not this time.
No, the dice.
it's gonna
the
be
dice
more
have been
lit.
rolled.
It's gonna be more lit with the king.
Yeah, and Spine's got some proving
I've
to
got
do.
to remember
Oh
when
my
we do
god.
the next episode that the Prison King's basically got, is that Megatron's voice or Starscream's voice?
It's a bit of both, isn't it?
Megatron's is like kind of high pitched, like Skeletor, though, isn't it?
Well, I think I just did a fucking high-pitched skeletal voice, didn't I?
This is your king.
I can't remember.
It's like
yeah,
it's
okay.
almost
I've heard.
Skeksis.
Wait, that is shit. It is. I've heard so many dang voices out of Dick tonight that I don't even know what Dick sounds like.
Yeah.
Oh, so many new characters. How many? I really
Clip
love the
that.
idea of there being this gang of like synthetic cooks that you guys helped escape potentially. But I don't know if that might
Yeah.
not end up happening now.
Well, my plan was to send a few of them up the. I was going to ask the head chef. You know, I was even thinking of like letting him go and like sending him up the chute with his best boys, his best droids, saying, you know, we'll meet here type thing. But I don't know. We have to see. What
But
happens.
once you let him go, he might be mad.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well, but I don't know. It's the same thing with Bowl. I don't, you know, at the end I'm gonna have to ask Bowl like, so, how are you
Everything good?
doing?
You mad? You mad?
You mad in there? Yeah, you want to
You
come
mad?
out or you want to stay here? You
You
let
okay?
me know.
You mad?
Yeah.
Are you going to give him a choice as to whether he wants to escape or not?
I mean, I'll
That's
ask him,
nice.
sure. Yeah, I'll ask him. You know,
That's
if
like
he,
way more thoughtful than we might have been.
well, I'll ask him, and if he says no, then I'll just kill him. But if he says yes, then you know,
Or
yeah,
that,
no, yeah.
you know, anything can happen. Is
But you
the
know,
thing.
he's been useful. Want to give him a reward?
I feel it.
You know, Spine's just fucking had a lucky day.
As you
Fine. So
Yeah.
he'll be forever remembered as one of the prisoners who started the prison escape.
Oh, and then Eric Rhodes can meet Spines, and yeah, Spines was this heroic figure who did it all by himself, no help at all.
Gee, never thought of it that way.
Spines just telling everyone how he led the escape.
Hey,
Patrons! Sound off. All right.
Patreon.
Cheaper by the
The dungeon.
dungeon.
There we go. Oh, cheaper. It is impossible to say their name and not sing the song.
It is.
Mhm.
It is. I mean, I think you have to. I think that's actually it's in their tech writer.
Yeah,
Well, it's
really not sung.
Teenage Mutant Ninja
Um,
Turtles. Like it's forever locked in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. I have hiccups. I'm trying. I'm trying to eat them.
Quickly, Willem, scare him.
Okay, next. Lucas Duff.
Oh, thank you, Duff Boy from Ballad of the
Duff
Seven
Man's
Dice.
here to party.
I was just thinking about how it's almost Halloween, and like now I just relate Lucas to Halloween because
Oh, we need to do a Halloween story.
he
You could-
makes scaries.
to think of some ideas.
Maybe we could do a Halloween special, but have Lucas as a player and see if we can scare him.
Like that idea.
Bastards try to scare the Scare King.
Go trick or treating in mid space.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's probably not scary, but we'll make it scary.
it's spooky because some of the
I'll
candies
DM
are
it,
fruit.
and it'll be full of weird avant-garde shit. Like you walk into a room and there's a lady peeling a dog. She just looks up at you and foam comes out of her mouth, and she passes over, and a bunch of bugs crawl out of her body because she was just bugs.
The whole time.
Yep. Roll perception. Nope. Zeros for everybody because of a magical block. Now you're all trapped in this room full of bugs.
Ladybugs.
Roll initiative. Anyway, that's the one shot.
Mm-hmm.
It's over. That was it. You had
That
one
was it.
shot. You missed it.
Mom spaghetti.
That's it. That's it. It's called, every time I DM, it's going to be called one shot, and there's only going to be one moment in the game where you can fight, and if you don't figure it out fast enough, you die.
Glorious.
Obviously, that's not a game that I would do well in, and that's why I'm the leader of it.
Mm.
Anyway, Marcus Brackelman.
Oh, broccoli boy.
That was Marcus trying to get into your house.
Yeah,
he walked
Marcus
all
is
the
in-
way.
He's in taking the form of a cat. Animorphs.
Animorphs. Speaking of Animorphs, Fernando Garcia,
Oh, Mr. Garcia.
who is not an Animorph, but he is a place and a
Yes.
person. So he's a noun. And Eric B. Rhodes, who you all better know by now,
Yeah.
because he is not just Eric Rhodes, he's also Eric Rhodes' trademark.
The savior of this universe.
Because if you listen to last week's little thing, then you're up to speed. And if you're not up to speed, then go get
You
up
gotta
to
catch
speed.
up.
Yeah.
Next, you do. Next is Noodle,
Noodle.
who you definitely better know because look at how many Noodle drawings we
Yeah,
have
they're out
been
there.
sporting.
All
Mechanic
over, all
boy.
over our
They're out there.
all over our socials and our
Whole bowl of
socials.
noodles.
Oh, it's getting late.
It is.
Bloat.
I'm just glad that like it's getting late for all of us, so it's not just me.
No.
I get like really stressed about this next one because I still don't know how to say her name. The like Abeil. Do you think it's Abel?
I think it's Abel.
Hold on, let me Google this word. I don't even know if it's a
Abeil.
word, Dick. Yeah.
They're kind of monstrous humanoid that resemble bee-like elves.
What the fuck?
Let's not call our patrons monstrous
bee
humanoids.
elves. Bee-like
And let's
elves.
just say thank you, Abel. And
Hold on, listen. No, this can't be right. It's a French word. This isn't right.
But if you Google image search, it,
Abel.
you're going to get a bunch of like Dungeons and Dragons bee elves.
Well, maybe she is a
Maybe.
bee elf.
It might also just be a name, but
the internet. No, because her name is the Able Queen.
Oh, yeah.
So she's the queen
Yeah,
of
she's
the
queen,
bee
she's Queen
elves.
Bee.
Okay, so oh my god. Ugh. Okay, I'm getting over it.
Mm-hmm.
And the Able Queen, which we studied you and we learned a lot about Ables and
Or
the pun.
Abail?
if that avails.
I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but
Listen,
maybe.
this is the pitfall of doing a D&D podcast, because usually it's like you might not have to say this crap if you're reading it, but then the minute that you have a podcast, you suddenly are responsible for a new world of pronunciation, and it does not always go well, and that's why we homebrew.
Yeah.
Because we can barely read. We just draw our thoughts.
Abail queens could cast divine spells as if they were high-level druids.
Abail. The Abail Queen.
There we go.
Check her out, because I know that you guys need maps, because we found out tonight that we definitely do. So
yeah, I mean, I could have made this
maps.
schedule. It's quite a simple. It's quite a simple
It
map. I
worked.
thought you could
Hey.
visualize it just from my description, but
whether you make your maps on the fly or you're a little fancier than us and you like maps that look like maps, check her out. And last but not least, Nicole.
Hey, Nicole. Hey, guys, it's Nicole. Yeah.
It's
Hey,
Nicole.
Hey guys.
It's Nicole.
And like, if you've been watching our Twitter, you've seen that she has a new member of her household.
Oh, yeah.
It is a cat that she
Yeah.
has named Cleo DeCap. Or
Oh,
Cleo
Cleo
DeCap.
DeCat is
Oh my God.
genius.
Cleo DeCat. That's kind of, yeah, I feel like we probably should have thought of that, but we didn't. She thought of that. So if you need somebody smart in your
Nicole.
game,
It's Nicole.
call
You've got
call
two
her.
pets in this world named after your D&D characters.
I know,
Your
I've got-
homebrew characters.
I've got Doodle, who named the dog after Hakes, and now I have Nicole, who named a cat after Cleo.
It's amazing.
So I feel like I can retire now,
It's so cool.
because I'm not gonna actually, I don't think that there's
You've
success
left
above
a mark
that.
on the world, like quite a long-lasting mark. You know, these living creatures named after.
Yeah. I mean, it's better than a human baby being named after your creatures.
Yeah.
Because people like cats,
a
and
little human baby called
not
Hakes.
not everybody likes.
turn out to be like like some sort of
Yeah.
I like it.
serial killer or something.
If you're gonna have a human baby, you should consider Hakes.
Unless you've got
Because-
the serial killer gene.
Yes.
Then you should definitely consider it, because it will look really good in the paper next to their kill count. Anyway, you should definitely consider joining the ranks of our distinguished patrons, because then you get to come hang out with us in our Discord, where we talk like this all week, and where we share our short rests, which are freaking secret, but we've done public short rests before so that people can see what they're about, but it's more of this
I mean, it's
hammering
it's us.
and important opinions and our facts
Fucking,
about life where we
The same sort of shit that we do in the middle of an episode, except that there's no pretense whatsoever of us playing a game.
Yeah, so for some of you it might be the only way that you can finally enjoy one of those. Or maybe you hate that, in which case don't worry. That's not the only reason to join our Patreon. There's also patches, shirts, in the future when the world has resumed making mail. There will probably be other cool stuff like stickers, discount codes for the crap in the store, and of course access to us, which feels so weird to say because
Yeah, that's
why
weird.
would you
All
want
access
that?
pass.
Maybe someone does, and if you do want that, you can get it for like $1.
You can get it.
So just think about that, because there's not a whole lot you can buy from a person for $1, but we'll sell quite a bit for that. So you know, times is hard. Anyway, thanks you guys, and thanks to Crispy
Thanks,
for being
Crispy.
our 1000th Twitter follower and videoing it, because that was kind of a special moment. I never really thought we would.
Yeah, it's a moment, and we actually get to enjoy the moment. Normally, you don't actually see these things. So.
Yeah, we never get to see anything cool. We just hear about it later, maybe, and we probably miss a lot of stuff because we don't know how to read our own analytics. But
And we'll see some more of the Crispy in-game character next week, I'm sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I hope that he likes that he's been immortalized as a robot chef called Crispy, because that's not going away.
Very cool.
Be careful when you interact with the bastards, because they will extract things and facts from your own real life and use them as fictional plot devices. Disclaimer. And this ain't over yet. This
Yeah.
ride is continuing. Y'all voted for this crap. You guys spoke out on Instagram and Discord and even on Twitter. And the voice really needs to be put back in the box because the episode's over. But you guys asked for this friendship origin story, this meat cube, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's called, right? A meat cube.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do think so. Well, and here it is. And we don't know when it's going to end, because that's what happens when we start an arc.
Yes.
It's not always something that we can stop. So now we are all on this little train that we tipped over a hill, and we're going to ride it till it crashes. So get ready. Buckle up. There's more of these coming towards you, hot and ready.
Yeehaw. See you next time, bastards.
Okay, I think we got as much as is possible to get.
Tune in next time for another edge of your seat adventure in space with the Backwater Bastards.
If you enjoy listening, but also have eyes, check out our Instagram, where we post drawings, illustrations, character art from our adventures. Backwater_bastards. Check out our Instagram on Instagram.